Sanjay, what you just mentioned, you've mentioned that in detail in your book. All of the cases that you've mentioned in detail in your book, and you've spoken about Bilkis Bano. And I want to go back to that particular case. That too you mentioned in detail in the book. You've changed the name for obvious reasons, but you've mentioned in detail. Now tell me, Bilkis Banu's rapists were set free. Thanks to Supreme Court, they are back, but they were set free. What did the society do? So, are we just washing our hands off and leaving it all to politicians to say that BJP did everything wrong, which they did? Of course, I have no doubt about that in my mind. I agree to every word you said in the book. But isn't it also our fault? We kept quiet too, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I wish more politicians had spoken up. I wish civil society was a lot more vocal. I mean, you read Bilkis Banu's case. I mean, she saw her family being murdered in front of her eyes, her 3-year-old child. And to give her justice, they had to transfer the case out of Gujarat. And at the time when Narendra Modi is giving a speech from the Red Fort, celebrating Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav, you release the rapists of Bilkis Bano? And the central government had a role to play in it. It's not easy to just blame the Gujarat government. And we are silent. I mean, and then the Prime Minister has the audacity to talk of Nari Shakti. And I'm like, how can women voters even vote for this party anymore? Is it because she belongs to a minority community that people turned a blind eye? Is she not a citizen of this country who deserves justice? I mean, eventually the Supreme Court of India has to intervene. And you had people celebrating the release of the convicts, the rapists. Some of them even said that, apparently some of them are Brahmins and their sanskar should give them a redemption. I mean, how outrageous, how absolutely vulgar can you become? And I agree with you. I mean, I was shocked. I mean, here is Mr. Modi, according to opinion polls, if they are to be believed, Sujit, apparently a front runner. Can I tell you something very honestly? In no democracy in the world would a prime minister or a president have survived not going to a part of his country where there was serious ethnic violence, where hundreds died, thousands went homeless, where the ethnic conflict hasn't yet completely ended. There is still a lot of simmering tension. And the president or the prime minister hasn't even visited there once. I'm talking about Manipur. And Mr. Modi is still considered to be an administrator. I'm sorry, I disagree with that. If you ask me, electoral bonds tells you how corrupt this government is, how criminal have the institutions become, how India has been handed over to a bunch of oligarchs. And we are happy because the stock market is booming with, some stocks playing up the hype. I mean, it's very befuddling. I know a lot of people, who are like secular, liberal, very abused words in today's times, who go to sleep in the night and ask themselves in the morning, what really is going on? This is so surreal. It feels as if we are living in another planet. I can tell you for a fact that if Dr. Manmohan Singh was the prime minister or Rahul was the prime minister with these issues, the media would have reduced the government to 25 seats. And the BJP would have done that if, of course, there was a level playing field. And I think that is really the differentiator. And I do hope somewhere the silent voter or the thinking Indian, who probably recognizes that there is something drastically wrong with India, wakes up and delivers a verdict in 2024 that restores the health of a great country.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.